Is Wicca for you? There are a lot of different pagan paths and also types of witchcraft. So is Wicca, which is a pagan religion and is also a religion that practices witchcraft, is it for you? That's what this video is about. But before I dive into the topic, hi, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. If you're new to the channel and you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you do want to practice Wicca and you're a little bit confused about how to pace yourself with your Wiccan studies, do download How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. It just gives you a guide as to the basic things that we Wiccans do and how you can pace yourself if you're trying to walk the Wiccan path and learn how to do it along the way. The link to that is in the description field below this video. Plus, I also have a 12-month course on Wicca also, which is the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. You can see the link to that in the description field below this video as well. So is Wicca for you? And I ask this because there's so many different types of paganism now, there's so many different types of witchcraft now, that it's hard to know really which one is suitable to you or whether you even belong into a particular one style of doing things. So I'm just going to outline some general things about Wicca, and then you can of course investigate it more for yourself by either watching my videos and also other videos and information out there on the web and in some very good books. I am currently writing a book at the moment, so I'm hoping to have that available in September of this year. So I'll keep you posted as to when that's available as well. So the first thing about Wicca is that we have a very strong reverence for nature. Personally, when I'm in nature, I feel connected. And it's not just connected to nature, it's feeling just connected in general. It's like I'm connected to spirit. I'm connected to something very, very spiritual when I'm connecting to nature. And a lot of Wiccans see the spirit in nature and feel the spirit in nature and the oneness with nature. So we have a strong reverence for it. We don't worship nature. I have read where people say that we worship nature. We don't worship it. We don't actually worship anything. We revere it and we honor it and we work with it and we certainly love being in it. But for us, it is really about being a part of it and connecting with it and respecting it. For me, it's a feeling of when I'm in nature, it's where the real is. There's something that feels very real about it. Whereas when I was working in an office environment, it didn't feel that realness, that real feeling wasn't there for me. That was more like an environment that was somehow constructed and disconnected. That's just how it felt. Nature is a place where we go to energize ourselves and to just feel like we are not alone more than anything. So that's an important one. The next one is that Wicca is a religion. We do have deity and we work with deity. We do work with a goddess and we work with a god. Technically, that makes us duotheistic, yet we're also polytheistic because we often work with a number of different goddesses and a number of different gods. We do believe that there is a current or a thread that runs through everything which unifies us. So there is that sense of unification there and unity, but that unity isn't a deity to us. It's expressed by all of the ways that life expresses this current, and the god and goddess and god are part of that expression. And so we work with the goddess and we work with the god. So we do work with the masculine and feminine energies on that energetic level, and a lot of that is to do with the creation aspect of the yin and yang, which might be more familiar to a lot of people working with those energies that seem to be in opposition, but they're actually energies that are neutralized when they come together in order to create a third. So we're working with that magical number of 3 a lot when we're working with the deities. Ourselves and our working with both energies then produces a third force, which is where the creation all starts to happen. The next thing is ritual. We're big on ritual. We have Rituals for our Sabbats, which are our 8 big seasonal celebrations of the year, which coincide with the cycle of the sun. And we also have rituals around the lunar cycles as well. And our rituals generally are set up in a circle, which is also a ritual space that we set up. And even though different Wiccan traditions will have slightly different ways of doing these things, those 3 things, the circles and the Sabbats and the moons, are pretty much what unifies us. We work with the elements, we work with always setting up a sacred space when we do our ritual work. It doesn't necessarily always have to be a typical Wiccan circle. There's other ways that we can do it too, but these are the things that you learn as a Wiccan and that you'll find yourself doing as a Wiccan as well. It's very ritualistic based, and the reason we use ritual is because ritual helps us create a sacred space, not just energetically in our space physically, but also mentally and emotionally as well. It allows us to have that transition from the mundane into the sacred, and that psychological transition is just as important as having a physical transition between your mundane life outside the door and your ritual space once you walk inside, or if you're setting up your ritual space or sacred space in nature as soon as you set it up. The next one is the Wiccan Rede, and at harm none, do what thou wilt. Even though it's impossible not to harm anything and survive at the same time, because if you say harm none, you mean harm absolutely nothing. So that means you will never eat, you will never walk anywhere, because there's always going to be something that you may be treading on underfoot, or you've got to destroy in order to eat, and that means destroying plants, which are life, and we harm plants whenever we dig them up and eat them too. So we can't not harm nothing and still survive. What that read is really about is that we have ethics that basically is something that we aim to not harm in order to be able to survive. So it's an aim to harm as little as possible. So that means we're always looking for ways that are harmless or do the least amount of harm in order to be able to do our magic or to solve the problems that we may have coming up in our lives. We don't just rush to curse somebody because we became emotionally upset by something that they did, even no matter how much justified we may think that it is. We are, through our shadow work, we're able to step back and go, okay, what's really going on here and what other solutions are there? A lot of the time when it comes to defending yourself magically, you can do that without necessarily attacking. In fact, attacking doesn't necessarily work anywhere near as well as protection magic does, because with protection magic, you're actually protecting yourself. Whereas when you're attacking, you can end up with magical ping pong where you basically just keep attacking each other and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Plus, the more into the negative emotions that you need in order to be able to do a more darker magic actually brings you down energetically, and it actually starts over a period of time to actually make your life less positive and less enjoyable too. So there's a lot of reasons why we have the ethic to not harm or to harm as little as possible. Which brings us to magic. We do work with magic and we do believe in magic. It is a big part of Wicca. Wiccans are witches. We practice witchcraft. It's just that we have other things that we do apart from just practicing witchcraft. So that's what makes us Wiccan as well, rather than a particular type of more traditional witch. Some I do believe, and I have never met any, but I have heard that there are Wiccans out there who don't practice magic, which is fine. It's not, you don't have to practice magic. It's not mandatory that you practice magic as a Wiccan. There's nobody sitting over you going, you must practice your magic every day. In fact, the more connected you become to yourself and the more work that you do on your inner work and the more connected you are, the less you find you have to even do magic. So over time, you probably won't be doing that much magic because you simply won't need to. But we do believe in it, and it is a part of what most of us do. The sixth thing is because it's a spiritual path, it's a religion, we are constantly trying to work on becoming the best that we can be of ourselves and becoming the sort of people who are helpful in the world. So a lot of Wiccans are healers. A lot of people come to Wicca because they know that they have a gift. A lot of people say, look, I just want to be of service to other people. I want to help other people. I want to become more spiritually connected so that I can help others. So many people are drawn to Wicca who just want to help other people. But we know that before we can help other people, we have to help ourselves first. So the path, the Wiccan path, is a wonderful way to be able to work on yourself and find who you really are and become the best person that you can be and walk your purpose and have that meaning in your life. Wicca is very structured in that way, yet it's structured in a very, very flexible way. There's lots of different types of Wicca. There's very traditional Wicca, which is based on the practices of Gerald Gardner, the Alexandrian tradition and all of those earlier traditions. And there's also the more eclectic traditions that have come along since then that still use the Wiccan form, but just things have changed as we become more knowledgeable about the world and quantum science, and also the more knowledgeable we become about what's out there healing-wise as well for our inner work. And we become more conscious too as people. Religions shouldn't stay in the past. They should be progressive and they should be able to move forward as our consciousness moves forward. Otherwise they fossilize in the past and they no longer become relevant anymore. So there's 6 things. So have a think about that. Ask yourself, is Wicca for you? And if you want to know more about whether Wicca is for you, then you can always ask me and I can help you out. You can flick me an email, sandra@mysterywitchschool.com. The link to that is in the description field below this video as well. Otherwise, download the video, how to start your witchcraft practice. And if you're ready to actually formally do a course with a group of like-minded people who meet twice a month online around the world to celebrate the moons, then have a look at Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. The link to that is also in the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra from Mystery Witch School. Blessed be.